I
right now.
love you, and
Yeah.
I want you to be happy.
I can hear it in the
If
background.
my parents didn't put me in sports, not because, I mean, maybe they could have afforded it, because my dad just didn't want to have to drive me to them. My dad just couldn't be bothered. He didn't want to drive me around and have to drop me off and pick me up and, take time out of his time to do things like that for his children. And that's a fact. He was selfish. He cared more about
Oh,
himself and whatever
yes.
he wanted to do than his children, and that's up to
Look at
him,
the
and that's his
correct
business.
rolling.
Mommy and Daddy are not selfish, and we go out of our way to do
Oh,
everything for our
yes.
children.
Yes.
So if I have
Yes,
to
rather.
drive all the way to Pickering to drop you at basketball, and drive all the way to Oshawa to pick you up and dance, and then drive all the way back to Pickering to pick, I will spend my whole night in my car driving back and forth as long as my children are happy, doing things they enjoy. I don't mind. You tell me you need new hoodies and new shirts, I'm like, send me the pictures, tell me what you want. You tell me you want a $150 hoodie, I'm
I
like,
took
okay, here you
round
go.
one easy.
You tell me you like pretty much
Defend the
anything you want,
equally
Mommy and
after.
Daddy do for you because we love you. And I ask for very, very minimal from you in return. I don't ask you to go out and buy me presents and bring me flowers and no. I just ask you to be thoughtful and respectful and helpful. And I
What
shouldn't
is
have to
happening
ask you
right
to
now?
help me with the groceries. I shouldn't.
No, it's my mom's bad, my bad.
You
Mute my
should
mic.
just do it because you're a big boy and you love me and you just want to help me. But you don't. I don't know if you love me. I don't know if you want to help me because I can't tell. You just walk. You ignored me. You heard me say, "Hey, help me with the groceries."
I didn't ignore you.
You heard me say, "Hey, help me with the groceries." You walked into the house. You didn't answer me,
Yes,
as
I did.
usual.
I said no.
You walked into the house. I was like, I think he's just probably gonna drop off his basketball back, like he has a big backpack on. So I got some groceries out, went into the house, expecting you to be on your way back out to help.
I was gonna
And
do
your
it.
shoes are off.
Or
You're
time.
on your way down the stairs.
No, I wasn't.
And I'm like, I'm so hurt by your. You think it's no big deal? It is a big deal. And it's a big deal because I don't ask
What?
you to do anything for me. I don't really ask
I
anything from
didn't
you.
even see him.
It's very basic and minimum things that I want from you that show that you care about me,
Why do you
and you
pop up?
just don't care.
Why are there more?
That's how
Why are
I
there
feel. You
so
don't
many
care.
more?
I do.
You don't act like it.
But you just get mad over little stuff and it pisses me off.
It's not little stuff.
Yes, it is.
It's not.
It
It's
is.
basic. I'm your mother. You should want to do things for me and help me because I'm your mother. Because you love me and I'm your mother.
I do want
I
to.
do
Well, my
not
legs
have
hurt.
to ask Ethan to help
My
me.
legs were sore.
If
My
Ethan
whole
was in
body
the car
sore.
with me, I wouldn't even have to ask him to help me, and that's a fact. He would have just gotten out of the car and started helping me, and you can sit there and say, "Oh, you like Ethan better," or "You're..." No, but I definitely
man,
know
what
that
the
it's
no,
not
why
different.
not?
But
Yes,
I
if
know
he
for
didn't
a
just get
fact.
done playing basketball,
It doesn't
And
matter.
you
He could have
suffer
been
like
out
hour and a
bike riding
half.
for 2 hours. If I said to him, "Ethan, help me
suffers
with the
like that.
groceries," he would do it. I wouldn't have to ask twice.
No,
If he was
no,
in the
no.
car with me when I picked up the groceries, I wouldn't even have to ask him. If he was downstairs on a video game, and this has happened many times, I've picked up the phone and called him and said, "I'm going to be home in 5 minutes. Can you come out and help me?" As soon as I get here, he's out there helping me. And that's facts.
When you told me, I go too.
That's
Sure you do.
When you tell
Sometimes,
him,
yes.
you'll tell him to tell me, and then I go with him.
Sometimes, yes.
Every time.
I've asked you way more than I ask you, and the sad fact is, I picked him over you because most times I'll get attitude from you. That's a fact. If I have to choose which kid I'm going to ask for help, I will 9 times out of 10 ask Ethan, which is not fair to Ethan. Why should he have to do all the work? But I asked him because he's the easiest one. He will say, "Okay, Mom," and just come and help me. If I ask you, I'll get attitude and my game, and it'll take 20 minutes, and it's just easier. And I shouldn't do that. I should force you to be a better, nicer person and be more helpful. I mean, yes,
well,
sometimes when I ask.
I don't want to bring in groceries, but I still do it.
Do I want to bring in groceries? Do you think I want to sit in my car for another 20 minutes at the grocery store after sitting in my car for an hour and a half waiting for groceries? But who's going to feed people? And how are you going to have lunches for school if someone, me, doesn't go and get the groceries? How do you think they're going to get in our house? Is it going to be
Doesn't
magic?
change the fact that you think it's my hobby to go and bring in groceries?
See how selfish you are? How many
I still do it.
How many times?
You just said you didn't like driving. You didn't. Well, you probably didn't want to drive. Well, wake up at whatever time you woke up at this morning and bring me to basketball. You still did it.
Right.
So then are you selfish then?
Did I get